Hey there. Start here. So we've got some series locked trials for some silver crowns this week. It's for the season 4 units for Taivas and for Tulian. I'm going to start with the Taivas crowns. You can see I've done the first 3 levels already. Like most of these crown events, the first 3 levels are very, very simple. You can pretty much FTKO the first 3 levels, meaning you get the first 3 silver crowns for that unit that you can then take into the final level. And I have used those first 3 silver crowns on my Taivas, and I'll tell you which abilities I upgraded before I brought him in here. So let's hop in here. So it's the usual missions, like no continues. This one is clear within 12 turns total because it's a 2-wave battle. So the first wave you go up against Ilmatelle and Kall, and then the second wave is against Yshe. And so they give you a few more turns to clear that one out. We're going to do this one in 8 turns total. So there's definitely some room if your units aren't as strong as mine. There's some room if you need to take a few extra turns to get it done. And then obviously clear without an ally being KO'd. That one's very, very easy because you just bring Runda on the party. Runda basically guarantees that nobody dies in this fight thanks to all of his mitigations. So let's get in here. You cannot take a friend to this one, but you don't need it. It's not a particularly difficult trial as long as you've got strong units to bring into it. You know, the right combination of season 4 units. I know season 4 can be sort of a struggle if you're like a newer player, or you just haven't been around long enough to pull some of these season 4 units. But Taivas has been around forever. So hopefully you've at least got an EX2 Taivas. You see it, mine's only EX2. I still need to pull one more to get him to EX3, but an EX2 Taivas works just fine. You notice I do have a Taivas and Yshe. You know, Taivas and Yshe is not required for this party, but it's the best unit that I have in that slot. You notice he is 130. That's because I use him on my Dark Visions teams. So I 130'd them, just, you know, trying to EP and squeak out as much damage as I can in Dark Visions. Yours does not need to be level 130. It doesn't even necessarily need to be EX2. Having an EX2 Taivas and Yshe definitely helps. But you can get away with having an EX1 or even an EX01. They're honestly, like, the biggest thing that they provide here is the Imperil field on their normal form LB. So having access to their SLB honestly isn't a deal breaker. It definitely makes it easier to clear in the turn limit, but the Imperil field is what you're after here. All right. If you don't have a Taivas and Yshe, then putting in someone like Ihana for the bigger human killers is a good slot in there. That sort of makes up for the damage. I don't have Ihana personally, so I cannot use her in this clear, but I do have Taivas and Yshe, so here we go. We've got Leftia. Leftia is great for fire support. She can also do the 100% amp, fire amp to Taivas, because you know, you don't get the access to his 150 amp until you complete level 4. So we're going to assume that we don't have that. So Leftia brings the 100% amp for Taivas. Of course, Runda is here as the tankiest little robot on Earth. And he provides lots of mod boosts to Taivas. Tulian is just here as our standard breaker. All right. So let's quickly go through the gear. Everyone needs to be paralyzed resistant. That's very, very important. Make sure everyone is resistant to paralyze, at the very least. You know, might as well just go ahead and be resistant to everything if you can, but paralyze resist is key. So here she just has some high spirit gear. Erinyr's ring is very important because she is going to be doing some casting of Fira, because the first battle has 2 foes on the field, so you need to have AoE bolting strike chains. So give her Ifrit Esper so that she can do fire, and then Erinyr's ring so she can quad cast. All right, she's really just going to be triple casting fire and then something else so that she can chain with Tulian. Obsidian Bracer just for the preemptive breaks. It's always nice to have. Jet Black Silk Ribbon. This is a free piece of gear you get from the Season 4 story, and this is what gives Leftia her elemental power fire ability. All right, so make sure you have this equipped to her so that she gets the 100% ramping amp. Other than that, yeah, just basic bolt gear. Make sure you have her TMR equipped, because on the second wave, you can use Scarlet Wave to chain with Tulian rather than having to quad cast Fire. But Scarlet Wave is single target, so that's why you cannot use it in the first wave. And then, yeah, I just gave her this vision card just because it's, you know, it's got some bulk on it. This is the free one we got for the anniversary. Love the artwork on there, except for the fact that Luis got whitewashed. That's a little upsetting. But it is a mono. A mono makes everybody white for whatever reason. I guess it just works with his art style. Then we've got Runda here. So Runda being tanky boy, pretty basic gear. I did not, you know, I'm not using anything really fancy here, even using a very generic vision card, and that's fine. The one thing you have to have on Runda is the upgraded Runda head, and you must make sure it is upgraded to burst, because that is what gives him the cooldowns with the mod boosts to Taivas' SLB. So make sure you have this upgraded helm. You get it for free from the story event, but then you have to go in and upgrade it to the burst type. All right, so Taivas and Yshe, pretty standard gear here. You know, just high attack gear. Moonshade Earring is there for the status resistance. Magister's Ring because they need a form of chain cap boost. And then, yeah, just some high attack gear. Nothing too fancy. You know, I gave him Resolute Knight just because that helps make it, it makes it easy to cap his TDH. But if you don't have it, just whatever vision card you have in there. And then let me just make sure they are 300% human. Oh my gosh, I didn't even I didn't even give them full LB damage. Oh, the poor guys. I still cleared it anyways, but let's at least give them some LB damage here. What can I do with LB damage? Yeah, we'll just give them Prodigious Performer, and then Knight on the offensive, I guess. All right, that way they're at least getting some extra spirit for some more bulk. Okay, so yeah, now they've got their LB damage, but they've still got the killers, so that's good. They're good on the killers. Now they've got LB damage. Very good. All right, but yeah, so that's all you need for them, and really, you know, they're just helping out with a bit of chip damage. They kind of clean up the mess on the second wave against Yshe, because Taivas is a bit restricted by the fact that his damage is so high that it actually hits the damage cap, and so there is there's a little bit of HP left on Yshe at the end of turn 4, and then Taivas and Yshe just kind of clean it up with their SLB. All right. So Tulian, the biggest issue with Tulian is that he drains his MP like a mad person. So that's what the feathered headdress is doing there. The feathered headdress gives him lots of MP, and gives him some MP refresh. And then I went like a total madman, went even crazier and gave him Oliveira's vision card because it has base MP and a lot of MP, extra MP on it. So I'm just like, you know what, I do not want Tulian to ever run out of MP in this fight, because a lot of his abilities have high MP costs. So yeah, I just went crazy on the MP. Wing and Heart is there for the ailment resists, so that he's covered on all ailments, and then his own TMR, which is just good for a higher attack and mag break if we need it. Make sure you've got Vidar. Vidar is very important because that does the Jord kicks, which activates the 89% defense break on turn 4, which works out nicely with an EX2 Taivas, because you know the defense break goes into effect on the turn that Taivas' SLB becomes available. You can also do Tulian's Gauntlet Earth so that he has access to Helton Group, which does an 85% attack and mag and 88% defense and spirit break. We'll use that one against Yshe in the second wave. Other than that, we don't care about damage. Tulian's not here for damage. Tulian is here for breaks and to be a chain slave. That's it. Taivas is going to be the primary DPS, so Raging Tempest is his TMR. He got upgrades for it. If you completed the Season 4 story, make sure you do that and upgrade it because it gives him a lot of great flat stats and better killers. So yeah, it gives him 100% all killers. Gives him chain limit boost, actually, so and 1100 static attack. So in fact, Taivas doesn't even need the Magister's Ring. He has full chain cap boost just by equipping Raging Tempest, but you know, put Magister's Ring on him anyways, just because it's a high attack accessory with some extra flat stats on it. Genji Helm is there for the Paralyzed Resist, and then just high attack gear. Make sure you do Taivas' Cloak, another free piece of gear that does give Taivas some static attack. And then obviously his STMR, you can use that with the new ability that he got. And so you can basically do a double mod boost with Taivas' Spirit and the new mod boost ability that he got. And then we're just filling out his TDH, his killers, and his LB damage here. All right. I have also given him this vision card. So even though we have Leftia on the party, in case you don't have Leftia, this is another option you can use to give Taivas a 100% fire amp on his burst turn, because this comes with the ramping fire amp. So you use this on turn 2, and then Taivas will be ready with a 100% amp on turn 4 to unload his SLB. Okay, obviously if you have an EX3 Taivas, then you would use this on turn 1, you know, but you get the idea. This is really, I'm only putting this here as an option. I'm not going to use it in the fight. I'm putting this here as another option for a 100% fire amp in case you don't have Leftia for some reason. All right, so I just wanted to put that out there. It does also come with 100% human killers. All right, and so that's obviously very, very important because we are going up against human enemies in this fight. But anyways, it's not difficult to build him for human killer anyways. But yeah, so here we go. He is good to go on everything. TDH, human killer, LB damage, ready to rock and roll. All right. And Taivas does get a 300% full stat leader skill for all Season 4 units, so make sure that Taivas is your leader on this party. All right, let's get in here and see how we get this done for an all missions clear. All right, first thing we want to do is we want Runda to do his LB. Okay, for the mitigations for everybody, because Kall does a lot of AoE fixed attacks, which cannot be covered, so you want to make sure that everyone's got the mitigations for that. Leftia is going to go ahead and do Prayer for the People, which does, you know, it does a stat boost, LB damage buff, yeah, whatever. The human killer is what you're after here, so it does a 100% human killer for 4 turns to everybody. All right, we'll do Flame Garden and Shelga for the magic mitigation. Okay, you can upgrade that. I haven't upgraded it yet, but you can upgrade that Shelga to +2 for a little bit better buff. All right, Taivas is going to do not losing anything more, and then double Flame Sword. All right, and then we're going to cap Taivas's normal LB. Now, if your Taivas and Yshe are not EX2, then, you know, don't worry about it. This is just to do a little bit of, you know, chip damage to get started, but it's not necessary. The amount of damage we're going to do on turn 4 is going to kill both of these, even if you don't do a little bit of chip damage. So, yeah, if your Taivas and Yshe are not EX, if they're not EX2, don't worry about it. Okay. We're now going to do Jord Kicks and double Flame X, I guess is how you pronounce that. So I'll start Taivas and Yshe. That'll go ahead and put in the Imperil field and do our fire Imperils for everybody. And then send Taivas and Tulian to chain. And we should be good to go there. We'll do like, we'll knock like 15% off their health here with this. Yeah. So just a little bit of chip damage. So yeah, they're both sitting at around 85, and that's pretty typical. So you see, we're resisting the ice. Everyone's got pretty good ice resists on the party, and even if you don't, Runda's here to take care of it. All right, with Runda Barrier, cover, and then Shelga to provide the better magic mitigations. All right, Leftia is now going to do her Ramping Fire Amp on Taivas. We'll just do another Flame Garden because why not? And in case you took some damage last turn, a little Kiraga to heal everybody back up. All right, Tulian on this turn. He is just going to do... I think on this turn he just does Earthbreaker. No. Is that right? Or have I already messed up? I think I already messed up because Taivas is going to do his LB. And yeah, we don't have anybody to cap that now, do we? So yeah, I think what I was supposed to do is actually triple Bolting Strike with Runda on this turn. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to worry about it. What we'll do is we'll just do triple to Sverd here. All right, and this is again just to do a little extra chip damage. What I should have done was triple cast Bolting Strike with Tulian and Runda on this turn to cap Taivas's LB, but once again, it's not going to be necessary. We're going to do so much overkill damage on turn 4 anyways. All right, so I will just do this, and then triple Spurred. So we'll do a little damage to Ilmatelle, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not stressed about it. So you see they put up a resistance buff, but our imperils are so huge that it doesn't matter. Leftia can do her LB now for the buffs. Tulian would have used Earthbreaker on this turn if I hadn't screwed up. So yeah, honestly, on this turn, Tulian can just chill and not do anything. All right, Taivas is going to do his 2 cooldowns for the mod boosts and just a Flame Spurt, I guess. Taivas and Yshe will do Ferocity and then Will of a Hero in that order to make sure you are imbued with fire. And then you can just do 2 Sphered, I guess. I guess don't do Fill LB unless you needed to use it to get their unless you need it to get their regular LB up before your burst turn. All right, Runda is now going to see. This is where Runda should have done cover, Runda Barrier, and Shelga. He should have done triple Runda Laser last turn. Yeah, so that was my mistake, but that's fine. We're still going to get this one done. So again, he will just do. Honestly, Runda can just guard this turn since I screwed that up. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so Leftia, LB, All right, Taivas does all of his boosts. All right, and since Runda got his SLB, or got his LB filled because of his SLB, he'll have a full LB gauge to then do all of the buffs to Taivas next turn. So you can see the incoming damage is practically nil. We don't have to worry about that. All right, so now Runda, first thing, Runda does all of these mod boosts to Taivas. All right, so now Taivas's SLB mod is like something really stupid, stupidly high. And we're gonna triple Flame X. All right, we're gonna quad. We're gonna do 3 fires and then end with a Fire-Raga because the casting frames are really delayed on Fire-Raga, so that it should not interfere with our chains. Taivas and Yshe will do their SLB. Okay. Taivas obviously does his SLB. Okay, so Taivas's SLB is a little bit quicker than his normal LB, so timing it is a bit easier. You can go ahead and start your chainers and then Taivas immediately after, and his SLB will fall perfectly within the chain. And then, you can do Taivas and Yshe right after you tap Taivas. Okay, so basically you can start them all at the same time, and you'll be fine. Okay. And yeah, this should do stupid amounts of damage. All right, so let's see how we do. All right, yeah, there's Taivas's SLB hitting the damage cap. Yeah. Yeah, stupid amounts of damage. All right, so now we're going up against Yshe. Okay, and so this follows a very similar pattern to the first fight. Prayer for the People, Flame Garden, and Shelga. All right, we're basically just rinsing and repeating here. We can do Jord Kicks, Double Flame X. All right, Runda will go ahead and do his SLB. We're gonna do. No, we're just gonna. Yeah, we're basically just gonna follow the exact same pattern we did last time. All right. Although, yeah, we can't use that anymore, can we? That's fine. I'm not worried about it. Although, could we? Does Julian have AME Mirror of Equity frames? Julian does have Mirror of Equity frames. All right. No, but we still want to use Jord Kicks on this turn. All right, I cannot. We're going to do Jord Kicks, Health and Grip, and Flame X. All right, the rest of them, yeah, the rest of it is irrelevant here. Yeah, I don't even really. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. So what we might actually do is save that for next turn. Yep, that's what we want to do. All right, we want to save that LB because we're going to do some chip damage next turn. So we want to save our LBs for both Taivas and Yshe and Taivas for next turn, and then do some chaining. All right, so this is just literally just a setup turn. All right, yep. So there we go. Okay. All right, once again, Leftia gives the 100% amp to Taivas. Elemental Power Fire on Taivas. You can do another Flame Garden and Kiraga in case the party took a lot of damage on that turn, which they shouldn't, but if they did, you know, you're healing everybody up. All right, so now I'm gonna do it right. All right, we're gonna do the chain with the LB caps on this turn for that little chip damage. This is what I should have done in the previous fight, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so here we go. Now Taivas's normal LB has quite a big wind up, so you want to tap him. We'll tap him, Taivas and Yshe first. Wait a second, and then send our chainers. All right. Okay, so there we go. Nice chunk of chip damage. And you can see that Taivas did the majority of that chip damage. Alright, so now it's just a setup turn. We'll just do Earthbreaker just so we have something to do. We'll do Runda Barrier, Cover, and Shelga. Leftia does her SLB. Taivas and Yshe. We'll just go ahead and do Ferocity, Will, and Elemental Burst Fire. Taivas does his 2 cooldowns, and I guess he has to do Not Giving an Inch because he's out of MP. That's fine. Yep. So I think that should have us set up and ready to burst next turn without issue. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sure I've done everything right there. All right, so yeah, we've got some Mirage stacks there. So Runda, I thought the Mirage was supposed to be last turn. That actually throws a bit of a wrench in the plan, doesn't it? Yeah, that makes it tricky, doesn't it? Okay. So, you know, instead of Taivas and Yshe doing their SLB this turn, they're going to have to get rid of the Mirage stacks. All right, so first of all, let's make sure it gets rid of them all. Yep, all right, Mirage is all gone, perfect. All right, so Taivas is just going to finish this all by himself. No problem. I'm actually kind of glad that happened, because this just proves that Taivas can basically carry the fight. Now we can use Scarlet Wave. Okay, Taivas does his SLB. Now he will probably hit the damage cap, but from 54%, that will kill the boss. All right, no problem. All right, so let's do it. Boom, damage cap, killed the boss. Very cool, very cool. All right, too easy. There's your all missions clear to get Taivas's final crown and his 150% self-fire amp. And yeah, like clearly Taivas is running the show. I mean, Taivas and Yshe, they dealt some side damage. It's fine, but they were totally not necessary. Like an EX0 Taivas and Yshe will be just fine. As long as you can get their normal LB for the big Fire Imperil and the Fire Imperil field, they're fine. If you don't have Taivas and Yshe, but you have Ihana, put Ihana in Taivas and Ishe's slot, and that will make up for that lack of damage there by giving Taivas the 250% human killer. Yeah, so you know there are definitely some options for some unit swaps there, but Taivas is the big dog, and we just let the big dog eat. All right, there you go. All missions clear. Fantastic. So hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I'll work on Tulian's crowns next. Oh, actually, man, I'm glad I remembered this, because I was going to show you guys. And I totally meant to, and I forgot to show you the enhancements on Taivas. So as you can see, I put 2 crowns into this ability for this fight, which adds the 80 times mod boost to his SLB, right? So as you saw, that could be dual casted with his STMR, his Taivas' Spirit, for a total 110 times mod boost to his SLB. All right, and then and then what is it? Runda gives him like another 250 times mod boost with all those things. So I only put 1 crown into this ability, Runda's partner, meaning that he only had a 500 static attack boost, and then all of this stuff. Some guts, some extra killers and whatnot. Okay. If you awaken it to full, which I'm going to do right now, you get a full 1000 static attack and 125% to all of these killers that you see here. All right, so the mod boost is more important leading into the final fight, is all I'm trying to say here. So that's the upshot. The upshot is you want the mod boost over the static attack and the killers, because you can fill in the killers. He's got plenty of static attack already. Do the mod boost first with the first 2 silver crowns, then 1 crown into Runda's partner, all right, going into level 4. So that's all I wanted to say there. I'm glad I remembered to do that. I'll go ahead and finish upgrading. Actually, no, I won't, because I have to claim it from my mailbox. Don't make that mistake. All right, I've nearly made that mistake before. Okay, but yeah, anyways, that's all I wanted to say about that. Thank you guys so much for following me, and I will see you on the other side.